Crushing the meta.
Welcome to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta. You're here with D-Boy, and today we're gonna do our first character video or character intro. And today we're here with Rick. Rick plays Great Nature. It is not his favorite deck. What's your favorite deck?
My favorite deck is Musketeers.
Okay, interesting. And you're waiting for more support, for more cards to make the clan, the deck better?
Yes, I'm waiting for more support to make full use of what make Musketeers great again.
But now you're playing the Break Stride?
I'm playing Break Stride, Honorary Professor, and so as I'm calling my deck, the perfect strategy.
Perfect strategy. Okay, interesting. So let's just go to the deck profile, and then after that talk a little bit about the deck, maybe do a combo video. So yeah, let's just jump into it. That deck profile.
Well, let's start just with the trigger lineup. That's basic. We have 4 heals and 12 crit.
Okay.
Nothing special there. Then from grade 3 onwards, we have 4 Honorary Professor Chat Sauvage and 4 Honorary Professor Chat Noir.
Yes. 2 of each because the 2 arts are amazing.
2 each of the arts
Yep.
has its.
So we're just gonna go fast through the deck, and then after that we'll explain the cards and then explain the combos.
Yes.
Grade 2 lineup.
Grade 2 lineup. First we have the 10k base Neon Shiro.
Yes.
And then a very strong card for the deck as well. Anchor Rabbit. But the best grade 2 of Great Nature so far. 4 Crayon Tiger.
Yep.
Then we have 2 Go Home Toad.
Yep.
3 pieces of Reader Pig. Then Strijdfolder Mini Belly. 4 of the G Perfect
Yep.
to countercharge. Very important. And we have another 2 of each Mikasaburo. I like both arts as well.
Yep.
And we're starting it all off with Gifted Bear.
Okay, before we go to the stride, you could explain the cards. So let's start with your starter. What does he do?
Well, the starter is you rest it,
Yep.
then reveal 1 Honorary Professor from your hand,
Okay.
and you may search for the other Honorary Professor that you're missing.
Okay.
So if you have Chat Sauvage, you get Chat Noir, and vice versa.
Okay. So
Next.
he helps out to get the combo right.
Yes, it's a setup.
Yep.
But afterwards you discard a card and it gets retired, and that's why I play these Mikasaburo. When Mikasaburo enters the fray, you choose one of your rear guards. When it's retired, you may search your deck for a grade 3, and well, put it on hand.
Okay.
If you do that with Gifted Bear and 1 Mikasaburo, then you have all the pieces you need to get the combo off.
Yep.
And the big combo we will cover later. Well, next we have the other combo pieces. Those are Reader Pig and Go Home Toad. These all have the same function in the deck, even though they're grade 1 and grade 2. That is that they can attack from the back row. That is very important, but we'll get to that why.
Yep. So, for some of you guys who already know the deck profiles from D-Boy and his Rising Nova, it's the same. There is a space right behind your Vanguard. In the Card for Vanguard game, if you could abuse that place, you could get more benefits from, because it's like you have 2 or 3 cards in your front row that could attack, and there is that space behind your Vanguard. If you have something right there that could introduce something to the deck, let's say, so like attacking from the back row or giving more power, so that's the space right there, you could abuse it. And with this deck, it's the same. Rick uses that space, which we'll show you later in the combo video.
Yes, yes, and the space gets free because Gifted Bear is retired.
Yep. leaves the field, leaves a perfect place behind him just to use it, abuse it.
Some of you might know, but I'll go through it anyway. We have Crayon Tiger. When Crayon Tiger is boosted, you may give plus 4k power to another unit, stand it, and at the end of the turn, draw a card and retire it. In that order, that's very important. Another one that fills the same function is Anchor Rabbit. Anchor Rabbit has the success ability, so when a unit gets plus 20k or higher, it becomes successful, and then for one counterblast, he may stand. So that is very strong. You can get a lot of attacks out, and that's very important for this deck. Because the meta is so rush heavy right now, I play 3 of these. Just 10k base, great defense. And well, I think I've covered all the combo pieces at this moment. But let's do this. Let's place it here. And this is the Break Ride. Chat Noir, it's an old card. When you Break Ride it, you may choose your Vanguard, and then the Vanguard gets the ability that when it's Break Ride, you choose the Vanguard, and when the Rearguard attacks, you give plus 4k power to a unit, and at the end of the turn, draw a card and retire it. It gives that effect each time one attacks. So when the effect goes up 3 times, you give 3 times 4k power to one unit, you draw 3 cards at the end of turn. In the latest set, we got a new one to the family, Jet Sauvage. When you Break Ride this, you can first use his skill to discard another Honorary Professor, and afterwards you may stride one of 2 units. That is Omniscience Dragon Kafpaluk or Omniscience Dragon Brahmananda. Brahmananda is not that good, but Kafpaluk is great. His effect is around the same what Chat Noir can do.
But cost you a counterblast.
But for each attack you must counterblast.
Yep.
But if you use Chetsuva's skill first, then stride, and then let the other effect resolve of your Break Ride, you give Omniscience Kafpaluk the plus 10k power and the skill to when a Rearguard attacks, you get 4k power. So you, with each Rearguard attack, you can give plus 8k power to a unit or 2 units with plus 4k power, and well, make incredible lines.
Yep.
So
I know the feeling, and draw a lot of cards at the end.
and at the end of the turn, you can draw a card for each time it gives the effect.
So normally you draw 9, I guess?
Around 8 or 9.
Yep.
Even when it's bad, and you have. That's why we play these. These can go behind the space behind your Vanguard, as D-Boy just explained. When it attacks, it also can give plus 8k power, but because it's already, when at the end of the turn, when it can attack from the back row, it already retires at the end of turn. So it's best to get this guy super pumped up. That's why we have Crayon Tiger. You can use Crayon Tiger to stand him again. And remember, with each attack, it gets stronger. So first you have another line, 16k on the Vanguard, no biggie. Give plus 8k power to Reader Pig. Then Reader Pig attacks. Give another plus 8k power to itself. Then we attack with Crayon Tiger. Even though maybe your opponent's Vanguard has plus 2 triggers and you can't hit anymore, still you attack because Reader Pig stands. And another plus 8k power to it. And then it attacks one final time. If you have enough counterblast, you can give another plus 8k power. So it's around 40k the last attack.
Yep. So it's very scary.
Yeah.
And also, all of these attacks come with the bonus, as he said, you do still draw cards. Like for each attack you draw 2 cards, because you have the Break Ride the skill and the stride skill.
As long as you have counterblast,
Yep.
you can give the ability to one of these units, and then it gets more power, and at the end of turn, you draw a card.
Yep.
So,
Normally, he is just scary by himself, but being able to activate his skill like twice because the break ride is just too good. Draw 2 cards, give 8k.
and it's especially fun if you have 2 lines of Crayon Tiger ready. Then you can stand this guy 2 times. When your opponent faces this guy 3 times, well, most of the time, if you have 1 crit on him,
Yep.
it's very hard to get through. But even if your opponent manages to survive, it's the end of the turn. Let's see, you get 2 attacks from your first line, then 2 effects from Reader Pig, 3 effects from Crayon Tiger, because Crayon Tiger's effect also lets you draw a card,
Yep.
and finally another 2 card, 2 boosts when he attacks as well. That makes at the end of the turn 9 cards.
Yep, so you just throw 9 extra cards and it would be very hard for your opponent to finish you off. But what would you do the turn after that?
The turn after, well, most of the time after this, you're either at 4 or at 5, because, well, it's a break ride skill and you want that to go off. Afterwards, we have, it's not yet here, but soon we will have the G Guardians
Yep.
of Great Nature, that basically says from, oh, you guarded with 4 cards and then you G guard. Well, the 4 guards you just placed get the effect. When it retires, you also draw again. So
Yes, so you refresh your hand.
and it's an
Unflip.
unflip G Guardian. So, well, afterwards we go for the Saint Sage Big Belly.
Yep.
This guy gives a unit plus 4k for each open G unit. So when first it's played, well, let's say you draw 9 cards, you get 2 heal triggers. That's a high probability.
Yep.
Then you have, well, 3 face of G units. You give another, this unflips itself, so that makes 4, that's plus 16k.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
And this also can be given to Reader Pig or Go Home Toad, because, well,
They attack a lot.
they attack a lot and it will retire anyway.
Yep.
But that leaves a line open for you. So first you attack with the line on your right, then attack with Reader Pig. Then if it doesn't hit, well, no biggie. Then try Crayon Tiger combo once again and attack again.
Yep.
If it hits then, well, fun times. All of your guards stand again.
So this would be normally your first stride if you're at
If-
4 or 5 damage.
This is my first stride. If I begin, this deck actually benefits from starting.
Yep.
Unlike any other deck that's around that wants to go second, this one wants to go first. If you have, well, go first. If you go second, Rumpus is your best bet. When it attacks, you Soul Blast 1. You don't Counter Blast, you Soul Blast. That's a very important part. And you give plus 8k to a unit. When that unit's power exceeds 20k, you draw a card.
Okay.
It's success before it became success. This one I play, basically, I mostly never use it, but it's a card you can play to get a few cards back in the deck. Yeah, when it becomes successful at 25k, you can...
It could help out to put your combo pieces back. Let's say
Yeah.
you don't have any Crayon Tigers more, but you want to draw more. So this card does help out. Sometimes if your opponent knows the deck, they won't let you go to 4 or 5 damage. So you'll have to stall until you get there. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to go there anyway. So, and
Indeed.
if they not, you have option to finish your opponent off as well. As he said, with maybe these 2.
Yeah, Omniscience Immortality Professor, Brahmananda. When Brahmananda attacks, you can flip one over again for one counter blast, and basically you can fill your entire field again if you have enough G units open. Mostly I use this when as a first strike as well, if I have a Crayon Tiger on hand and the timing is right. You can just use Omniscience Immortality Professor Brahmananda, and it comes from the hand on the field, so it gives you another attack.
Yep.
And well, that's basically what it does. It gives a plus 4k when the unit attacks, and you can draw cards afterwards.
And then we have 2 GRs right here.
Yes. This card is purely in it to defend yourself. It gives all of your rearguard the effect this unit cannot be retired. So it gets rid of all those effects, especially Kagero or Narukami, that gets rid of your rearguard before it can even attack, or when it attacks. This card just defends your unit, and that is so good. This card, I almost never use it. On paper it's good, but in practical I almost never use it because this deck goes very fast.
Yep.
But if your opponent plays Mega Colony and it just stuns your entire field and you may not call anything, that's when you play this card.
Yep.
Because then you blow everything up, you soul charge and draw cards. That way you refill your hand even though you didn't use your rearguard.
Normally, because you finish your opponent off at your break strike turn, you don't really have to go into him. But this could also refresh your counter charges if needed, because sometimes you use all your counter blasts and just your unflip PG sometimes not enough. Oh, also look at these sleeves. It's his favorite.
The OG Great Nature unit. The OG.
So he can't do everything by himself. So that's why you do sometimes need the counter charge. But as Rick already said, the deck goes too fast. Your opponent would not be able to keep up, especially if they don't know the deck. And for more defensive cards, of course, we have the G Guardians.
The G Guardians, well, these two also help greatly. They help Shellmaster, the G Perfect, with counter charging. You, when you G-guard, you select one of your units, and at the end of the turn, it retires. When you select a unit, you get plus 5k shield again. That's a plus. But at the end of the turn, when the unit is retired or not, it can stay. Some of the rearguards have that effect. You counter charge, and you can even, if you have 2 heal trigger on hand, block with these two.
Yeah,
place it on a single unit, and
so you retire 1, but you get benefit for 2.
Yes, indeed. Then we have the full-on guard, generation guard.
Is 1 enough?
This one, it's enough. It's enough. Because well, you're dealing with space also.
Yep.
That's a bummer. This one gets, it needs 3 open rear guards for its effect to go off. But when you place it down, you can retire any number of your rear guards. And when 3 spaces are open, it gets plus 10k. So that's a 25k.
Yep. Maybe the new G-Guard, the Unflipper will come out, so you have to make space for that as well.
Yes.
But I think he would be playing 5 G-Guards?
5 G-Guards when it comes out. I will go into that topic in a bit.
Yep.
This G-Guard is purely for the Narukami.
Okay.
When it is placed, you may call any units from your hand to the rearguard circles. So it's more appropriate to play this card in a Big Belly build to get your units ready for when Big Belly strides.
Yep.
But the fun part is when this guy hits the field, you can select 4 of your units, which is basically all of your units since the last turn you retired one at the end of the turn. And they get resist and they cannot be hit by attacks. And since Narukami attacks every single Vanguard, every single rearguard cannot be hit.
So it's like a Desmil but for 4.
Yes.
So it's a great card. It does help a lot with keep your field, especially your Crayon Tigers. Sometimes you just want them. The only downside to this card, well, it guards for only 15k.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, but it's more for the defensive resist than just the guard. I mean, in this deck, especially this build, you have a lot of cards in your hand, so there is no problem with guarding.
A fun strategy you can also do is when this guy hits the field, the Guardian Circle, and well, your opponent uses the effect you cannot block with grade 1 or higher. You place 2 grade 2 units next to your Vanguard and intercept them.
Yep, that works.
Hey, it works around the effect. So in a few weeks, we get the Fighters collection.
Yep.
And well, we have some really good cards in there. Of course, we have the heal trigger. When you have 1 or less open rearguard, open counterblast, then you can countercharge. So when you used the cuff blue to completely drain your counterblast, you can recharge it.
Yep, so we already did a video on that. If you haven't seen it yet, try to go to our channel and see it. We also have a Facebook page, if you haven't seen that yet, for Crushing the Meta. It's also very important to watch that because we have all our videos on that as well. So yeah, Rick, thanks a lot for the deck profile. We will see your deck in action. So stay tuned for that. And till next time.
Okay, bye.